Word you cannot say. Hello world, and welcome to the House of Moyet here on EverTalk Live. Of course, we are live with you on Amazon to bring you a unique shopping show like no other. Our goal, of course, is to entertain and educate, and of course provide you with products that you can shop right here on Amazon. And I want to share with you the stories behind these products that you want to check out on Amazon. And I'm able to bring you these stories and discoveries special thanks to the production and team at EverTalk TV, America's first live streaming video talk show network, from our studio right here in West Hollywood, California. EverTalk has invited members of their community to participate in the Amazon Influencer Program to share the stories of the people that inspire them, and of course, the products they feel that you just really cannot live without. I personally want to thank EverTalk and Amazon for giving me this platform, as I truly appreciate the opportunity to bring value to my community of followers and, of course, do a little shopping. So on today's show, I really wanted to share with you a select book. I've had the rare opportunity to sit down with the author one-on-one and interview him on my morning show, Good Morning La La Land. He is one of the most recognized authors, creators, and poets of our time. He has been quoted by Spielberg, Ariana Huffington, Khloe Kardashian, just to name a few. And we know his work has even been shared and read to the British royal family. So if the Queen of England approves, I approve too. Ian was raised in South Africa, and through his journey, he really felt the need to express the words you cannot say, basic, true, human fear and hurt and hope. And in these incredible pages, he's done just that. Let's take a look at my interview with the author on Good Morning La La Land. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It's an absolute honor to welcome best-selling author Ian S. Thomas in the house, and he's expressing every word you cannot say. Thank you so much, by the way, for all the incredible work, and the recognition you've been getting worldwide is absolutely inspiring.
It's you know, I live on the tip of Africa, so like, it's just crazy the way it's gone all over the world.
So tell us, though, how did that experience growing up affect the words you cannot say now in your journey?
Well, I grew up in apartheid South Africa, so it was a really difficult time. It was a very authoritarian place, and a very conservative kind of place where you weren't really allowed to express yourself or be different. And so, you know, that's informed my writing quite a lot, where when I started writing poetry online back in 2007, I made a conscious decision that I would never talk about someone's race or their gender or their location. I would always talk about you, the reader, as a human being. And so that's informed a lot of my work.
And the readers, Steven Spielberg, Khloe Kardashian, dozens of celebrities have endorsed you because of what your words have given to them was a voice of things they couldn't say for themselves.
Yeah.
But what is it that you're saying? How does that in turn express them?
Well, I think for me, my writing has always been about trying to find something basic and true and human about the reader. And I think I'm always trying to find a connection to someone who I don't know. And I think that search for humanness is something that resonates with other people, no matter who you are. You know, people say my writing makes them feel less alone. The act of writing it and having that kind of response makes me feel less alone. You know, so it's a kind of two-way.
So important.
Yeah, it's you know, we've always had these big fears that robots are going to come and take our jobs. They're not. They're taking the audience. You know, because I was speaking to a musician the other night, and he was saying that there's guys who make music for Spotify. And there are certain things that they know the Spotify algorithm favors. And so they write their songs for that algorithm. Not like what they think someone might want to hear, but what they want to do, you know? Yeah, so it's for a creative person right now in this space, it's a very tricky space to navigate.
Well, thank you for bringing us back to a sacred moment like poetry. So tell people where they can find your book and you.
You can find it wherever good books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Target, Amazon, everywhere. You know, the last thing I wanted to say actually is it is National Poetry Month today. And I think, you know, the world really does need poetry right now. I always say it needs kindness, it needs compassion, it needs love, and it needs poetry, because poetry is all of those things.
So, just fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
How truly incredible his art and his words are. Thank you, Ian, for sharing your heart, for sharing your work, for speaking for so many of us who feel so alone. It was a rare and wonderful opportunity to have that sit down with the author, Ian S. Thomas, of course, as I mentioned earlier, one of the most recognized, celebrated, and awarded poets of our time. So often with poetry, it doesn't feel relatable, at least from my own personal experience. The words are so romantic and they're just so inaccessible, but really his words just touch my heart. So I wanted to use this opportunity to read the first few pages of his book with you, so you know that you're not alone. If you haven't had the opportunity to read any of his work, I encourage you to listen along, to type how you are inspired, because this is a community. We are a community here at EverTalk TV. We are a community on Amazon, and now more than ever, we need that. We need community. We need conversation. So many people are feeling so alone right now. I get it. I felt the same way too, but I took such solace in the pages of this book right here, Every Word You Cannot Say, because this is every word that at some point in my life I have truly, truly felt. So I'm going to start right here in the pages of his book, on page 6 with you. I don't know why, but I don't feel like I'm like you or anyone else. I feel like the only one who feels the things I feel or thinks the way I think. I'm worried that I'm taking everything too seriously or not seriously enough. Sometimes I want you to see me, and sometimes I want to disappear. I don't know if I've ever truly felt the ground beneath me was firm. I know I've felt that way. Stability is a rare thing, especially in Hollywood. Things always feel like they're moving, and I never get the chance to catch up to them, and when I do, it all goes away too quickly. I'm too nice to people because I don't know what else to do. Well, those words have never been truer, especially spoken from a people pleaser like me. I feel like I'm waiting for something, and I don't know what that is. I often walk past people in the street, and I wonder if anyone else is waiting too. I don't know if I'm ever really here. Presence is so fleeting, isn't it? So, I'm fine. And he writes in red asterisks, I'm not fine. Scattered throughout the pages of this book are beautiful artistic ink blots. And it's really up to the reader to, you know, just decipher what those images are and see how they speak to them. And I think there's something so interesting and beautiful about this, because it isn't truly a representation of an animal or anything. It's whatever the reader sees. Just like the words in this book, it's whatever the reader feels. Page 10. I don't know your name, but I do know it was beautiful to your mother, and that's the first time she said it. and decided it was yours. Believe it or not, my name is actually Jezlan. People ask me where I get my name all the time, and I always give my mother the credit. She's very creative. The first time she said it and decided it was yours, she smiled. I know she said it several times after that, like the words to a beautiful song only she knew. She tried it on like a beautiful summer day. I don't know what you do for money. I hope you have some. And I don't know that sometimes, whatever that is, it's difficult, and I do not know whether you're rich or poor, but I do know that regardless of how much money you have in the bank or how big your house is, numbers have never stopped the world from intruding on your happiness. And sometimes things are hard. Now more than ever in 2020, we recognize that they're hard in a whole new way that none of us in the world have ever truly experienced. Especially in this time when we are so isolated and so alone, and we're experiencing this all together. Finding solace in art and in books is so truly important. Okay, back to the book. I know that once someone touched your hand and you didn't want them to pull their hand away, but they did, and this made you sad. And for this reason, I also know that sometimes you smile, even when there's nothing to smile about. I know that the grass grew while you were sleeping, and I know that somewhere on the other side of the world, the sun shone on people you will never meet. I know that at least once, if not several times, someone you knew woke up in the middle of the night thinking of you and wondering what became of you. And they've contemplated calling you, even out of the blue. Who are those people you've contemplated calling, by the way? When we're all safer at home and self-isolating, who's pulling on your heartstrings? What's tugging at you? Who do you need to make amends with, or catch up with, or simply remind them how much you love them? I would love to know. Leave a comment. I want to include you in this conversation right here on Amazon. Okay, back to the pages. I know you have a tiny scar on your body that only you know about and that only you can see now. Keep that one to yourself. I know you remember how you got it. I do, and I'll never tell. I know your body will be cold after you die, and that right now while you're reading this is the only time I guarantee it will be warm. I know that the sun will rise every single day until it doesn't, until there's no more reason for it to do so. I know that time itself holds you tight. I know that you get ink on your fingers and don't know when it'll come off. I know strangers can stain your heart in the very same way, just like it stained these very pages. I know sometimes your brain is too loud and your heart bangs on the ceiling with a boom, screaming, "Shut up, you are going to ruin this for us." I think that all of the time. You know those moments, especially in the middle of the night, it's 4 a.m. and you wake up and you can't literally turn your mind off. Sometimes they call that monkey brain, if you will. And you want to tell yourself like you're an alternate person, just stop, be quiet, things are okay. Your negativity is going to ruin it for us. I get that. I so deeply feel that. I know that sometimes it's too late and the music plays on. I know you're hurt and that you love, and that sometimes love is the reason you hurt, which is basically the lyrics to every pop song ever written. I know that sometimes you feel things and wish things that someone was there for you to tell you that you're allowed to feel everything that you're feeling. Whatever you're feeling, that's okay. Don't let anyone ever tell you how you should or shouldn't feel. I have no greater pet peeve in life than somebody telling me how I should feel. Because regardless of whatever else anybody thinks, you feel the way you do, and however you feel, that is okay. Ian S. Thomas has a beautiful way of articulating just that. Back to the pages. I know that sometimes you wish someone would just say the words you needed to hear, because sometimes you don't even know what those words are. And that's exactly it. These are the words you cannot say. Every single one of them. Ian S. Thomas is one of the most recognized poets of our time for this very reason. Because he speaks for the broken, he speaks for the beautiful, he speaks for you, and he speaks for me. I encourage you to click through on this carousel to order this book today. It is available on Amazon. This is an investment. It is a legacy piece. It is every word you cannot say that someday you'll want to tell your daughter and your daughter's daughters. It will help share a legacy of this time, and that I truly believe, not about 2020, but about the world we live in today, the loneliness we experience. It's a modern, true feeling and a very true sign of the times. Again, if you missed the interview, I'd love for you to scroll back and watch my previous live interview with Ian S. Thomas that was featured on Good Morning La La Land. Thank you again to the EverTalk TV community and the studios here. Remember, we're #EverTogether. Thank you, Amazon, for allowing us to have this platform to share the stories that inspire us and the products we truly cannot live without. Remember, we are #EverTogether. Stay safe, shop well, let Amazon deliver your packages. I'll see you next time at the House of Moyet.